All right, all right, all right. What's up, folks? We alive and back on the same topic from yesterday. So let me get into part two on the folks we have here on California. We're doing the state of California, which they state is America's largest death row. As I'm going through it, there are some cases that very familiar with. Uh, haven't seen any people that I've known personally yet on this list. Pretty sure I'll come up and see some people. But we have Taekwon Cox, who is known as Lil Fee from the Rolling 60s. I was listening, and it was crazy that while I was on YouTube and watching this stuff, I guess some algorithm type shit to where his story ended up coming up. And it ended up coming up from Eddie Boy, who's from 60s, who've been kind of going in about the scandalous nature of people involved in gangs and the neighborhoods you may come from. He's doing a lot of content, but his content was on Little Fee. And he was speaking about the growth of Little Fee and how he, takes onus to the situation that occurred in which he took the life of four members of Kermit Alexander's family, who was a former Ram. And it was based on bad intel, but even the act, regardless, even if they found the right house, the fact that they were going in there to take some people's lives just showed the sinister nature of these young dudes, what they were caught up in. But the dude, Eddie Boy, who channel I was watching, was speaking on this, who knows Lil Fee personally. He was speaking about how it was an older dude who put these guys into this situation, who lured them into this little contract killing and never surveilled the location they were supposed to hit and end up going into the wrong house and going into the house of that NFL player and killing the NFL player's mother, his sister, and his nephews. I think it was two little kids, killing his two little nephews. And so he ended up getting the death penalty while on death row. They speak about him stabbing Tookie Williams. Then there was another story. There's a story on here with a dude who Deuce Time had a fight with. So he's on there talking about that one. And I come across that case. The dude, Hoover Ray, and it was Black Jap. That's the other dude. The dude who I was like, I recognize and he looked very, very familiar. I'm going to go back through that real quick and talk about their stories. Like their stories are way the fuck out about what they did. And it was some scandalous shit. You deal with real scandalous ass individuals within this world. And I want to go off where I left off yesterday. Real scandalous ass people inside of this world. And let me say what's up to y'all real quick. I see CJ first in the building. Salute CJ. It says, all right, all right, all right. I was doing it yesterday, man. I was talking about that one dude from Young Crowd that killed the cop across the street from your house over in the park. Matthew says, really? Salute to Matthew. And the WMS 702 in the building. Salute. We got Steph in the building. Says, yeah. Says, be well. Says, salute to the chat fam. We also says, Talk got the hell kind of writing you doing? Says, Talk got Alcatraz out west. Says, how ironic is that? I don't know what the hell is talk. And then CJ says, I'm going to have to run yesterday's episode back. Yeah, man, I always like going through this kind of shit right here. But it was and what's his fool name? Let me see if I see him. And you can pull his case up. But he the one that ended up smoking the Linwood shares back one of the weekends we was going over to your Pops in them house. We saw us go over there almost every damn Friday and stay the week. And we was going there one day. That's always remember that shit. When we was going over there, the park was shut off. So we couldn't get to the house and shit. And it ended up being that this dude ended up smoking that cop. And yesterday I read the case on him. I was trying to see if I can find him. But where is he at? Oh, yeah, his name is in the F's. His name is Favia or some shit like that. And then this is the other dude we come across. This piece of shit principal up there in Bakersfield who ended up killing his whole family, killed his three little kids, his wife and her mother. Then try to move on with his life. The way they busted this stupid motherfucker was genius. Genius work by them damn feds. Then we went into some of the people who are too insane to kill. Majority of them were black. Let's see. And then there's a number of white women on here. This is the only black chick on here. This damn dyke. She almost like a dude. Then there's some motherfuckers on here who look like chicks And they're a bunch of white homo motherfuckers. Them white dudes in there drag queening and shit. And then there's dudes in here probably fucking with them and shit. Let me see. Where's the dude from yesterday? Deuce fought one of the cats from Hoover who got a real scandalous story on here. Let me see. Where's that shit at? This motherfucker right here, crazy as shit. This fool crazy as a motherfucker right here. End up getting paralyzed, doing a robbery. Police come there to arrest his ass. He smoked both of the cops, end up paralyzed. Let me see. Just looking for these one cats. Let me see. And then you just got a lot of women on here that either killed their kids or they killed the damn husband. And this fool right here, I'm still looking at this fool because this fool looked like the one cat I told the story about in the army. Here go the Grim Sleeper. Still gonna come up to his story. I'm gonna leave. Oh, here go the dude who did the killing. This is him right here, CJ. Freddie says Fuavi, however you say his name, 46 at the time whenever this article was done. So he's been in there for over 30 years. He committed that crime back on, I think I remember it was Friday, May 12th, 1995 is when he committed this crime. Ended up opening fire on that cop, smoking him. But even his situation is one that I believe more of his stories. But then again, what the prosecution put out is he didn't want to go back to prison, shot it out. But the way the police used to fuck with them people, and me witnessing that shit almost every other weekend, we'll go out there. I believe he was fired on first by the cop and ended up firing in self-defense. This motherfucker right here is a dude. That's one of the other white dudes on this list that then turned into a bitch. Wait, where's the fool I'm looking for? Who got the scandalous ass stories? Two of them got these scandalous stories. They ended up committing the same crime. But the one fool ended up killing Little Moo from 107 Hoop. He ended up killing one of his people from his own neighborhood. There's stories on here that people have done on YouTube about that. These dudes are insane. And then as you look through the list, it's crazy with how many black people on death row. And then when you look at the black folks, you see how young they are. And you know who else might be on here? Wait, what's the name? I think Ghost from 9-0 might be on this shit. I think he got the death penalty. This that dude from Compton Crip, the white dude is putting in, but no, Park Village Compton Crip. This white dude is in there putting in major work. I think he ended up doing some bank robbery shit too. He got a crazy ass story as well. But where's these dudes I'm looking for? Hold on. Where are these motherfuckers at? But there's a lot of these black dudes on here, and it just shows the impacts of the drug culture and gang culture all aligned that leading a lot of these black dudes going into prison. You see a lot of white women. There ain't number white women on here. Number white women. And here on death row, waiting to be executed. California get they act together and start taking some of these people out who, without a shadow of doubt, cases are they committed the crime. Get them up out of here. And let me see. Looking for this nigga case right here is cold. He got the longest and I think most expensive case in American history. I think his shit surpassed OJ. He committed his crime in 1984. It was him and a white dude. White dude get busted, killed himself. This fool go on a run. This crazy fool, they just saying they only charged him with 11. They killed more people than that. This fool crimes in 1985. He gets caught in 1999. When they catch him, I think he went to Canada or some shit. This fool went on a run for a long time. So how you say his name? Ning, how you say this Chinese ass name? Says the serial killer. Says convicted in the deaths of 11 women. Says and believed to have killed as many as 25. He says he and killing partner Leonard Lake says used a bludgeon. Used a dungeon adjacent to their their Calaveras County cabin to torture victims. Says the crimes were discovered when Lake committed suicide. So they end up catching the white dude Lake at some kind of like hardware store. Think he was doing some forgery shit, or he got caught stealing some shit. Whatever it is, the store called the police. When the police catch up to this motherfucker. He smoke himself. And then as they check in his vehicle, they see all this like crazy shit in his car. And then when they go to continue the investigation of this fool, they go to his house and then they find this damn torture chamber on the property. And so this fool go on a run, but this fool's doing some way out shit. But he has like the most expensive court case in, I think, U.S. history, let alone California, which I think his shit surpassed OJ. This fool kept doing delays in the case and shit. Like I said, I follow a lot of these investigative shit. This fool looked familiar to me right here. 93. Let me see. Where this fool committed his crime? Pasadena. Definitely, I'll get to him. So we end up going in order. I'm gonna start back off where I left at, but I wanted to get into this story with these fools. We was talking about yesterday, and Deuce Time was telling me he had a fight with one of the guys. It's damn, where these motherfuckers at? Let me see where they at. Hold on, I'm gonna find them. Let's continue to roll. Okay, here we go right here. This dude right here. See, they got him as a Compton gang member, and I knew that was wrong when I saw that. Because I was looking at it like, no, this dude from Hoover. He from 107 Hoover. And this is Donald Shorts, 34. The crime they committed, they got charged with was from 2005. They got multiple charges with this dude. But this one crime is foul as fuck. So this is a Black Jap from 107 Hoover. He was sentenced to life, says for previous murder. So they got him for one victim here, but he got other murders. Says he killed another inmate, says while waiting trial. So he also killed an inmate while waiting trial. I think he may have killed somebody from Hoover. And then his crimey is this dude. Wait, where's his crimey at? His crimey is... Hold on, Tucker. That's who they said. Let me go down to the T's. Let me see. Okay, here goes crimey here. This is Tucker. So this dude end up killing dude from damn, is he from one? I think he's from 11 Deuce, or he might be from 107. He killed the dude named Lil Moo. But the dude I just showed, this is the one dude said he had a fight with. This Hoover Ray right here. Him and the other dude. So this little storyline here about Compton gangs is wrong. They from 107 Hoover. But the crime they commit, they end up killing a cat from another one of Hoover says. Dude end up getting like, dude was balling or whatever. The dude's friend set him up. The dude who gets killed was set up by his friend that he grew up with. This is how fucked up and cold-hearted piece of shit nothing ass motherfuckers are. So he sets this dude up. He gets his range hooked up, got beat in it. He had to do to drive him somewhere, and this is a setup. So you know how dudes is up, they got money, they got their car looking fly, he got a Range Rover, beat in this shit rims. Oh, dude was like, man, can you take me somewhere, Wool? Not knowing this is about to be his death trap. So dude drive him over to where he tell him to drop him off to. He take him over where these dudes at. They immediately pistol whipping. Boom, pistol whipping. Tape his ass up, throw him in the back of his truck, and now they driving out to the dude's mother house because it's his best friend that he grew up with that knows where he stays at, that knows where, I don't know if the dude hustling or whatnot, but he drive him over there like he got this where all the money at and all this shit. So when they bust in the house, the friend in there telling them, I forget what they said the friend name. They said the friend in there is tell the mother, like, yo, it's me, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's gonna happen to you. Just tell us where everything at. Tell us where the money at, woo, woo, woo. And nothing to happen to you. So it's the mother and I think his cousin. So they ransacked the house and all this shit. The house is out there in, is it Palmdale they went to? One of them cities with a P. I don't know if it was Palmdale or Pomona, wherever the fuck they drove to. So they got them taped up, running through the house, woo, woo, woo. She thinking nothing gonna happen. And then next thing you know, you hear 2 gunshots. The other dude who I showed before, they say he wasn't in the house when it's happening. He out there in the car. So, but these dudes, when they in the house, they domed the nephew. Boom, boom, put 2 in his head. Go to the mother. They put 2 in the mother head. Boom, boom, domed her. They leave, drive off with old boy, who car they in, while his mother and nephew in there shot in the head. Drive him, shoot him 2 or 3 times in the head, toss him out on the road, leave him to die. That nigga survives. Back at the house, the dude mother survives. The nephew dies. You best believe he gives a story about this bitch-made motherfucker. He got every right to tell these motherfucking law enforcement officials what went down. These buster-ass niggas that he grew up with that had done this kind of shit. This is how scandalous motherfuckers out here are. And then that's how these fools get caught for that. Then they start getting charged with other shit. Then they killed niggas when they was in there. The story of this dude killing the dude from Hoover was, what's his name? Damian Porter tell the story about this dude. And he was talking about how the fight went down. Like when they get into it, because he was claiming that he get into it, the dude from his neighborhood, for claiming murders or shootings and murders that he didn't commit. And so they end up getting down. He knocked him out. So the Damian Porter dude was like, all he heard was like a big old like boom, like a motherfucking head hitting the ground. And then he over in the cell and was like, man, this nigga ain't moving and all that shit. So he just left him there. It was like the nigga in there moaning. I think he ended up just killing the nigga after hearing him more. He's trying to hide it from the guards and shit. And then so he get an additional charge for that, for killing his roommate. But you know what? They may have it wrong because I don't see his showing about him killing. Oh, wait, his does show about killing the inmate. And so this is the inmate from his neighborhood that he killed. And then the other dude killed the cellmate as well. So let me go back. And this is that other serial killer nigga. This nigga, him and the Grim Sleeper, got all these bodies and shit. These fools is crazy. So let's go back up. Wait, is this the... I thought that was the homie and shit. All right, so we're gonna go back up where we left off yesterday. It's so many of these motherfuckers on here. It made me take me 2 or 3 days to finish this shit. But whatever it is, I like going through this shit, hearing these crazy motherfuckers' cases. And some of them on here, there's probably a small percentage of these fools that is innocent. It's simple as that. Some of them, I think, there need to be more evidence in their cases. But when you're dealing with people like this, they will lie about shit. It's just simple as that. So that's the fool we left off yesterday with. Let me go to these comments. I couldn't understand what the hell Picasso wrote in that comment. CJ says, I'm going to have to run yesterday's episode back. And he says, the CJ says, yesterday live was very informative. Yes, indeed. And then CJ says, yeah, my dad knew him. Yeah, I think your dad and Van knew everybody. Everybody over there knew them and shit. Everybody over there knew your Pops and Van and Charlo and shit. And then Picasso says turn my volume down some. Says because you just too excited in here. Says I got a new phone. Says and it's trying to change my words. Says I meant y'all have Alcatraz. Says which in my opinion makes this topic says ironic. Says you're amazed. But Alcatraz is a fucking tourism museum. That ain't even a prison no more. And the Jashawn in the building, salute. Picasso says, are y'all gangs named after the streets where they live? I think most of the gangs are. Some gangs aren't. Some gangs are named after some other shit. And then Picasso says, but all of them have some association with their gangs. I mean, not with their gangs, but the streets and a number of a street down there. Picasso in there saying, damn. And then Jashawn says that Marine One was wicked. Says you ain't get to it yet. Wait, Marine One. Wait, what's the name of the Marine One? So it's gonna go by last name. So right now we stopped at this fool. So this one from yesterday. He stabbed to death a woman he encountered during daylight robbery of her home. So this lady popped up to her house, and this old poor ass motherfucker up in there with his stupid ass, and then shank her. She is sad she couldn't even run up out of her house. That's like one of the most fucked up ways to return home and some shit you paying for, and some old dirtbag motherfucker who wants your TV or some other shit catches you. And so he'd be like, I ain't going back. Can't leave no witness and take your life. You got this little box head whore. This is the one. Oh, I remember going over hers yesterday. She's one of the females on here. She the one that killed her kid. So she's the wife of a wealthy, allegedly unfaithful doctor. Carl shot three of her four young sons to death, and then shot herself in the head. But she survived. Of course, she survived. Look at her big ass head. Motherfucking bullet wasn't going through. She should have shot herself in the chest. She knew she didn't want to die. That's why she chose to shoot herself in that big ass head. So the whole alive, and they keeping her alive rather than taking her funky ass life. So she did this back in 1999. Took her baby. So it's one kid alive. That kid has to be fucked up to be alive. One day your siblings there, and then they gone. I know boxing in the building. Salute. Deshaun says black dude with cornrows. All right, whenever I get down there, just say this to dude. David J. Carpenter. This motherfucker old as shit. Look at his old stupid ass. 86. He didn't think this would happen to his dumb ass. He got 7 victims. Thank God they caught him. He looked older back when he committed his crime than he do at 86. He committed his shit in 81. So that's the year I was born. He says convicted in Los Angeles and San Diego County. Says he's a trailside killer. Says Carpenter assaulted hikers on remote paths in Santa Cruz and Marin counties in the 1980 and 1981. Says raping some and shooting 7 to death. Yeah, he's sick, man. There's some sick ass people out here, and they still got this fool living. Get rid of this scumbag. Like, what the fuck is he doing alive? Get rid of him. It's time to go. It's time to go, my guy. Get him up out of here. So that's where we at. So Robert, what is that? Carrasco. This fool got 2 victims. He did his shit in 94. He was sentenced in 99. So he took 5 years to sentence his stupid ass. Says after Carrasco lost his job at a dairy, says he killed the man who replaced him. Oh my God. Says and then killed another man during a failed drug deal. So this fool stupid. Should have killed the owner, dummy. He don't kill the fool that took his job. Fuck out of here. It's stupid. This is a little dyke broad. This is the only black chick that's on death row, on California's death row. So she ain't got nobody to scissors with. Her name is Celeste Carrington. Celeste is kind of name a lot of lesbians are named and shit. So make sure you don't never name your daughter that shit. She may end up turning into a dyke like this lady. You know, a lot of Celeste end up liking girls and shit. Celeste Carrington says 54. She got 2 victims. Dang, she was vicious. 92, San Mateo County. Says during a string of robberies at businesses where she had worked as a janitor, Carrington killed 2 night workers and shot a physician working late. Absolutely deserve the fucking death penalty. Absolutely. She a rough ass chick. And then Tracy Carter, I wouldn't have hired her to be honest. I would have racially profiled her or from a visually profile her and it said well the position is closed. Like hell no, you look like you gonna kill somebody at this motherfucker. So he got this fool, Tracy Carter, 48. 2 victims, committed his shit in 87. He was sentenced in April of 1990, so almost 3 years, depending on what month. So maybe between 3 to 2 years it took the sentences, dude. So Carter and two others robbed a couple whose church bus had broken down. So then they robbed the holy people, killing the man. Says shortly after they killed another man in a liquor store parking lot, and getting his dumb ass life. No, not even life. The death penalty. Got himself the death penalty doing this stupid ass shit. And they just letting his ass rot the hell away. He's probably been there for about 40 years. Who knows? Some of these dudes are getting chances of getting out. The crimes committed by these white folks in this list, though, on this death row shit, is some sinister, sick ass shit. But the sickest of all is going to be that black dude out of Fresno I was talking about, the one who had them kids with his damn daughters and shit. If you got Dean Carter, 61, says, and he's probably older than that. So I think I gotta add 4 years to this shit. So Dean Carter, who is probably 65 now, so he had 4 victims, committed his crimes in 84. It took all the way, so he committed says the crime committed was in 84. He was sentenced February 6, 1990 in Los Angeles, San Diego County. It says Carter killed 4 women in 2 counties. Says he had a pattern of sexually assaulting, robbing, and physically strangling women whom he previously had befriended. Says murder charges in the fifth killing were dismissed and they should have been brought up on him. So this is where the chicks make mistakes and they're looking for love and then find a fool like Dean Carter in their damn house and bedroom. You got Jose Casares, how you say that? One victim, 1989 in Tulare County. It took them all the way into 1992 to sentence this dude. Says Casares shot and stabbed two men during a cocaine deal, killing one of them. So he wanted to get high. These are my drugs, goddamn pendejo. Fuck that. I ain't paying for that shit. I got this gun and knife. I'm taking that shit. You fucking dummy. And then he got his last hit and it was over with. And then Charles Case, this fool is now 76 with his stupid looking ass. Two victims committed the crime in 93 up in Sacramento. It took 3 years to get this dirtbag. He was sentenced October 25th, 1996. Case, who was on early parole, says after being convicted of raping. Look at this shit. This sorry ass motherfucking prosecutors, man. Damn, how many motherfuckers y'all gonna allow this fool to take advantage of? That's why I think it's important when you get that shit and you the family of a victim and you ain't satisfied, you ought to be allowed to just go out there and decapitate a motherfucker like this. So a piece of shit. This is almost what they did with the John Gacy dude, the John Wayne Gacy. If y'all follow that shit, this the other crazy ass white dude in Illinois, who they released him from I think he raped the senator's little son, and then they take him to prison. One of the wives of the president at the damn prison visiting this fool all on TV doing interviews with this nigga. Not knowing he a fucking homo rapist, a homo predator rapist, interview him, he a model prisoner and a cook and all this shit, release him, he up in Chicago, get to start a business, move on with his fucking life. And this John Wayne Gacy I'm talking about, so I should move this dude off the screen because the case is similar. This dude, all this damn shit, early release. They let John Wayne Gacy move on with his life. John Wayne Gacy's making money, start a business, all this shit. This fool up there snatching up boys, acting like he about to give them jobs for the summer, killing these dudes, doing all the little homo shit these fools do. This is why I want to do a video about the Bulls. Fuck the Chicago Bulls. And I think everybody should boycott, who even the people live in Chicago, fuck the Chicago Bulls for waving that basketball player for making those comments he made. Because that player had a right to state what he stated, and it was a real comment. And then they waived this dude. But John Wayne Gacy, because it's crazy to talk about some shit anti-gay when gay ain't a race, gay ain't none of that shit is some sex shit. If that's the case, then you ought to be defending prostitutes and shit. Bitches ought to have a stronger voice of selling their pussy if gays can talk about sticking each other in their asses and shit. What the fuck these fools talking about? It was some shit when I'm taking my kids to school that bugged the fuck out of me, where I see a thing say diversity and it's the rainbow color. That shit ain't got a goddamn thing to do with no fucking diversity. The NBA ain't shit and the Chicago Bulls ain't shit. But back to this John Wayne Gacy shit, how they let that LGBTQ motherfucker out of prison. He all model citizen and got all this wicked shit on him. Gets out, moves on with his life because of his complexion. Given all type of sources from the fucking county of what is a Chicago, Cook County, allowed to start construction, bringing boys around when he should have been registered, but they didn't have that registered offender shit. Hiring these boys and they fucking sorry ass parents have no goddamn idea where the kids are. This dude killing them and burying them under the crawl space of his home. By the time they caught this nigga, John Wayne Gacy, under his house is something what do they say about like 28 kids under the house. He ran out of room of burying all these motherfuckers. He started using his driveway. I think they found like 8 motherfuckers under the driveway. Then he ran out of room to do that shit. He started throwing them over bridges and shit. And they charge him with, like, I think it's like 30 something people they charge him with. But they allow that shit. Same way with this white dude. Let me go back to this motherfucker. He was released on early parole after being convicted of raping 5 women. Killed the owner of a bar and a customer as he says as he forced them to kneel in the bathroom. Domed him because they let this fool out early. The family ought to blame that damn state for that shit. Gabriel Castaneda, he's 55. He's probably 60 now because you got to add the years on this. One victim, 1998. He gets sentenced January 9, 2000, San Bernardino County. Castaneda returned to a medical clinic, says, where he had received treatment after a minor vehicle accident, says, and raped and killed a clerical worker who was alone at night, says at the time. What the fuck? This fool just sick. Sick. Fools can't control themselves. That's why I'm telling you, man, that's why pussy is so important. It is so important to be able to get that shit. It's so important to teach dudes how to speak and be charismatic, have some coolness to you, have some grace to you, have a little bit of appeal, a little bit of humor, but knowing how to control yourself around women. Even for you little fruitcake motherfuckers, whatever is that shit to that shit is nasty thinking about the motherfuckers. But even them fools, because there's a lot of homicidal raging homo motherfuckers. And you got Robert Castro, 38, 2 victims. Crime committed in 2008. He was arrested. Damn, this fool took this long to be arrested. This in Riverside County. The crime committed in 2008. He doesn't get sentenced to 2014. That's 6 fucking years. Depending on the month the 2008 crimes happened, it could be 5 years and whatever change. So Castro received the death sentence for killing a man who bulked at the arranged sales of a stolen laptop. So over a fucking laptop. Says he was sentenced to life, says, for shooting to death another man, says, who caught him in a home burglary. So he tripped on a fool over a laptop. He on meth. He looked like a meth head. You can look at this fool eyes and look at the stare. This fool's a meth head. And then you look at him in his picture. No, they got him on psych drugs because in this picture, he's not wearing this blue suit. They got that shit over the front of this dude because he's zooted out his mind. He's a fucking idiot. All right, so continue on. So this one is, so that means this fool did this shit when he was young. So this 2008, this article 2019. So he did this in 2019, this 2008. Boom, boom, 11 years. So he's about 20 something, 26, 27 when he did that shit. And then Steve Catlin, 71 now, or he's about 75 today. He has 3 victims. Committed the crime in 78. He was out on the streets for a long time. The dude was out on the streets for more than 14 years. Says it's happening in Kern County. There's a lot of killings from Kern County. So this fool Caitlin says, or Caitlin, how you say his name, says killed his mother and 2 of his ex-wives, poisoning them with with paraquat. Says to collect life insurance proceeds and his inheritance. Wow, this nigga is dirtbag. This fool don't give a fuck about nobody but himself. Nobody but his fucking self. Narcissistic, sociopathic motherfucker. That shit cold-blooded. So he killed 2 of his ex-wives. They have to be like, something is up. His mother done died in a strange way. Both his wives done died in a strange way. This fool in there poisoning them hoes. And he's still sitting on California, be wasting time with these fools. So this is Daniel Cervantes, 38, 1 victim, 2008, Riverside County. Says Cervantes and Carlos Quintaneras. Wait. The other fools, so these fools commit this crime together. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, who is this dude? Wait, this one, Daniel and Carlos Quinteras. Let me see. Oh, Quinteras ain't came up yet. So Quinteras should be sometime after this one. So Cervantes and Carlos Quinteras, I thought I could have sworn I pulled up Quinteras. Kidnapped an idiot man, robbed him, says bound his hands with electrical cables, and then shot him in the head. Says dumping the body and using his credit card to buy gas. That's all they did. These fools didn't do nothing but buy fucking gas. This was committed in 2008. They was out on the streets for about 5 years. You didn't get sentenced till 2013. Or maybe they could have sat in jail going through their trial all the way into that time. But that's what y'all get. Enjoy your life in prison, dummy. Stephen Champion, he got 3 victims. Done this in 1980, says Los Angeles County. Champion Craig Ross says killed a man, says, and his 14-year-old son during a robbery of the victims' homes. Says that evening, says they robbed a nearby apartment, raping a woman inside and killing her brother. Says Champion was convicted of 2 murders, Ross of 3. Sayonara, motherfucker, fucking dummies. So they took 12 years to convict this fool. He was sentenced December, so crime committed in 1980. Sentence date for this dude ain't until December 10th, 1992. Did that foul ass shit. You killed the dude, a 14-year-old kid, while robbing their house. Then you rob a woman's apartment, raping her and killing her brother. These fools are sick. And then Edward Charles, 3 victims. Done this in 94 in Orange County. Gets sentenced in 99. Says Charles stabbed and beat to death his 18-year-old brother, says with a crescent wrench, says return home hours later to kill his parents. Damn. You talking about a foul ass fucking brother, stuffing their bodies into a car, says, which he then set on fire. No bonus was proven. That's what happened to Mark Sumner's and Jerry Tasker and them families. This type of shit be happening with their family. And then Eric Chapman, 1 victim at 87 Santa Clara, says during the robbery of a drive-up photo booth, says Chapman stabbed the clerk 51 times, killing her. Sick ass dude. That's like overkill to just stab that woman and he don't know her or nothing. And you got Juan Chavez, got 3 victims. Did this in 2004, was sentenced March 28, 2008 in Los Angeles. Chavez killed 2 people in a gang-related attack, says, and a week later killed a woman, says the subject of a PBS film documentary on foster care, says who was a potential witness, So he killed a woman who was a potential witness. I'm trying to think, was this the dude who killed the black dude from over in the damn, what do you call that section? From the Ladera section. And then Christopher, what is this fool? Christopher Chari, 26 when he this fool was younger than that. So this 2009, this fool was the youngest motherfucker that did this shit. This fool had to be a teen when he committed his crime. So he was sentenced in committed his crime in 2011. So this fool was young when he did this shit. He doesn't get sentenced till 2017. Just in Tulare County. There's a lot of Tulare County people on here. Says Cherry says raped and bludgeoned to death the 3-year-old daughter. Come on, you piece of shit. And then this bitch bringing her kid around this motherfucker. Says a 3-year-old daughter, says of the girlfriend with whom he was living, and she leave her kid around this motherfucker. Somebody else's kid, and this motherfucker was sick, nasty, punk ass dude. So this fool, this is 2019. He's 26 at 2019. That's what is you taking 8 years off of that? 8 years off of that, 26. So what is he, like 18 or some shit when he committed this shit? 17, 18. And this bitch got her kid around the motherfucker she don't know. Stephen Cheatham. Stephen Cheatham, 2 victims, 98. This is in LA County. He doesn't get sentenced till 2009. So almost 11 years after the crime. So he was out on the streets, thought he was getting away. Says Cheatham fatally shot 2 people, including a 14-year-old girl, and attempted to murder 2 others. Fucked up. Did it for the gang, and I'm pretty sure they interview him now. He regret all of that shit. And the Rapi, Chuan says he got 9 victims. 9 victims. I think I heard. Oh, I got to pull this one up. I think this fool is a gang leader. His shit crazy. Y'all got to pull this fool up. Yeah, I think this nigga was a gang leader or some shit. Hold on, let me pull his shit up. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I ain't got to pull it up. They kind of got a lengthy little story on him. So he did this in 95. He gets sentenced in January. Chowan says the leader of an Asian street gang says killed the man, and his 73-year-old father says during a home invasion says and killed a Pomona man he mistook as a gang rival. Chowan also killed 5 family members during a home invasion robbery in San Bernardino, says and killed another man during a drive-by shooting. He was charged with the murder of 2 people in Spokane, Washington. This fool is sick. This fool is a crazy motherfucker. I don't know if he wanted them damn I think he wanted them Cambodian motherfuckers, and they was trying to blame. I think in the special I'm watching, I think he wanted people that was trying to blame the effects of that Khmer Rouge shit. Let me see. Let me see if he's a dude out of. His parents are from Cambodia. I think that's where they was from. So he's a Tiny Rascal member. Let me see. Yeah, they don't get into. I'm trying to see his parents. Yeah, I think he wanted them. I think he wanted them Cambodian ass people. But yeah, this fool was an insane ass dude. So he's from Tiny Rascals and shit. But yeah, this fool had murder on his goddamn mind. That fool was crazy as fuck. And let me go back in the comments real quick. Let me see where we at. And let me see. Picasso, another crazy ass comment. Where Picasso comment is the last one went off at. He says the fake nurse says that went to Africa, says and killed 100 babies and fled back to USA. Says should be in prison. Says, but I bet she's at home sipping her red wine. Says and eating her chicken with peach. And the CJ says, I think you did a video on the Bakersfield death. Yep, I did. Yep, I did do one on that piece of shit ass dude. And I don't know, and that's the thing that bugs me in California. They leave these type of people to live and age and die out, rather than throwing them in the chamber and getting them out of here. He says that shit literally made me sick. Says to my stomach. Yeah, that shit is sick. From the beginning of their chapter, like even the mother of all those kids that he would have kids with, her mother wasn't shit. Her mother allowed her at a young age to be given over to this dude, and then for him to go in there and just do what he did to her, and then for her to be a disgusting ass mother when she come to age, she allows her daughters who she had with this dude to have kids with him. Like, these motherfuckers are stupid, man. That be happening with these people who be into that cult shit, who all into that cult shit, just believing niggas is God. Then some old human ass nigga talking about he God, but the police show up at his door and he want to react this way. Nigga, do a God move and shit. That's when the family should have knew this nigga ain't shit. When the police showed up and the nigga run scared and shit. Like, you God, Dad, then why we so fucking poor? And shit, your God powers ain't shit. The kids should have really rebelled on that nigga. WMS 702 says I see the error. Says where a lot of these take place. Says probably freebasing and smoking rocks. With the black people, it's the gang shit. With the black people, it's the gang shit, then the drugs. So it shows the impact of what happened with the government's involvement and shit. Because outside of that, you don't see the murders on here where you compare what white folks is doing and then blacks dealing with that gang shit, and then these niggas on crack and shit like that. Picasso says, I'm like, dude, says, but it wasn't a tie between me and this dude, says, who also became a killer. Says, I believe this guy killed his wife and kid, says, in the drive-through. Yeah, it's crazy when people go to that extreme shit, man. It ain't even worth it. And then Matthew says, I haven't seen Mark Summers in a while. Says he's been quiet, laugh out loud. That's probably because his dad on this motherfucking list. That's why he's quiet. And then Picasso says, I think all of us, says, have done some shit. Says that could put us away for good. Says we just didn't get caught, you man. Says, understand me. Says, are we pointing the fingers at the system? We cheated. Just saying. Says, don't judge me. Well, you got to always be ready to have your alibi when if they find your fingerprints at a crime scene. The cold case is a real thing. That's why if you're a dummy, it don't make sense to commit a fucking crime. Especially don't do crime with other pussy ass people. Go Young DJ says, wonder if he's from Pomona. Says TRG says deep out there. It's possible or Long Beach. Ain't the Tiny Rascals in Long Beach. They probably wherever it's Asians are deep and shit. And then Elantra says how you say it? Elantrag says black people, white people, Muslims, Christians, and Jews. Says if you are on the evil side, says you get popped. Says don't matter colors. Says don't matter colors is our religion. Says the revelations will bring Jesus back. Says I have no regrets. Says I have no regrets and no crime. Go Young DJ says doesn't seem like most of the black men on the death row says were gang members. Says seem like mostly serial killers. No, the black folks, they probably are in gangs and shit. But these probably the gang niggas that was smoking Sherm and PCP and all that other shit. This young fool right here was just on some, like I say, the culture pushes you into this murderous behavior. Matter of fact, the gang shit has produced to where black niggas black people begin to get on that serial killing shit. We've normalized smoking motherfuckers for the name of a gang and shit. And it's just simple as that. Like I say, I used to trip off of cats that I know that have done multiple shootings and murdered multiple people, and you be looking like these niggas turn to a point where they're serial killers, and you hear these niggas how it'd be nothing for them to talk about wanting to go smoke somebody. And you got Calvin Chisholm says he has one victim, committed his crime in 97 in LA, sentenced in October 24th in 2001. So it took 4 years to sentence the dude. Chisholm killed the man during a robbery of a liquor store, says using a stolen gun during a robbery of a previous store. And then I wish they gave more address details, but there's so many people on here, I don't even be having time for all of them to go into this shit. William, how does this nigga end up with a Chinese name and shit? William Choice. Fucking a black Jap and shit. This dead nigga off the Lakers. He got 3 victims in 97 San Joaquin County. For 97, he was out for almost 10 years, or it took 10 years to sentence this fool from whatever this 3 murder crimes. So December 15th, 2008 says Choice says a garbage collector says who abused his child, raped and murdered 3 female prostitutes. So yeah, goodbye to you, motherfucker. And then Leonard Cisneros, how you say that name? 2 victims, crime committed in 2004, LA County. He gets sentenced 10 years after that, September 8, 2014. During gang-related series of robberies, says Leonardo Cisneros fatally shot a Subway sandwich shop worker and a man he encountered in the parking lot. So he going there to rob this fucking Subway. Then it's unfortunate doing in a parking lot, maybe going to go get a Subway, and this fool just blast him. That shit's fucked up. That shit real fucked up. Damn. So this is supposed to be 2019 article. He's 32 at this time, 15 years back. Then this nigga like 17 years old when this crime committed. So this fool ain't get to experience no life. Clinic Claire, 1 victim, 1984, Orange County. So Kenneth looked high in the motherfucker. Just look at his face in his mugshot. Claire robbed a home adjacent to an empty house, says where he squatted, and returned a week later to rob it again. Says this time beating and strangling the family babysitter to death. She come over there to go watch these folks' babies, and this pussy ass dude does that shit. And that's why he's sitting his ass riding away in prison. They've been in there for over 40 years. Committed in 84, sentenced December 4th, 1987. Then you got this weird motherfucker. I think I covered his yesterday. I think he on the list of the people they won't kill. Douglas Clark, 6 victims, done this in 1980 in LA. He gets arrested March 16, 1983, or sentenced March 16, 1983. Clark, the Sunset Slayer, says killed 6 women in Los Angeles area in 1980. So he committed this in 1980. A weird motherfucker. There was something else I read on this dude that I think was weird when I pulled up his story, I believe. But I think he is one of the cats that's on the list of too insane to kill. Richard Clark, 1 victim, 1985, Santa Clara. Let's see. Says Clark raped and killed a 15-year-old girl walking home from a bus station. Stabbed her with a screwdriver and bludgeoned her with chunks of concrete. Sorry ass dude. Not getting laid. Weird as a motherfucker. Can't talk to chicks. Never been taught game. And they're doing this shit because he ain't getting laid. Royal Clark, 1 victim, 1991, Fresno County. Says Clark attempted to rape and then murder the 14-year-old cousin of his girlfriend and kidnapped and attempted to strangle her 15-year-old friend. You deserve everything they gave your stupid ass. He gets sentenced February 3rd, 1995. I'm telling you, a lot of these people, you won't hear me talking all this free these motherfuckers and the moratorium is some innocent people and all this other. Ain't none of these niggas innocent. And you got William Clark, 2 victims, 1991, up in Orange County. He gets sentenced December 29, 1997. And that's the thing. We got to start being honest with the trash ass motherfuckers we come up around. We around some real pieces of shit ass people out here. And a lot of these niggas ain't sitting behind bars for no fucking reason. But it makes me think like, man, what is driving into a motherfucker's insane mind that makes them do these ridiculous crimes? These ain't even crimes where you protecting somebody. You ain't doing these crimes out of somebody done mess with your family member, done hurt your child, done threaten you and all that shit. These is a bunch of bummed out ass motherfuckers, drugged out ass people doing this kind of shit. So he got 2 victims, crime committed in 91 out there in Orange County, sentenced December 29, 1997. So they made sure they got him right for New Year's. So you can enjoy your Christmas phone calls from jail, but we're going to put you away right for New Year's. Says, though Clark shot no one, says he was convicted of double murder, says for the shooting of a woman, says who walked in on his robbery of a computer store, says in the killing of a witness, says who could testify against him, says his 2 accomplices, including the shooter, says were sentenced to life without parole. So how this nigga end up on death row then? So they must have, I don't know how the fuck he was the one that planned it. So Delano Cleveland says 2 victims in 1990, says in Los Angeles County. Cleveland and 2 others sentenced to death row, says sentenced to death row. Chauncey Velsey says, and Rajesh Churin says shot to death and robbed 2 drug dealers at a Pomona motel. Says the sentence for Churin, says who had no prior felonies, was converted to life without parole. All right, so he's gonna die in there. So no parole for him. Committed the crime in 90, was sentenced December 1991. Fucked his life off. Herbert says Coddington, and it's like, why would you go on a crime with a bunch of other cats? I'm not doing that shit. You go do that crime by your fucking self. Like, and that's when these niggas start telling each other and all that other shit, or get caught for some other shit. Be like, man, you know what, man? What that deal looking like? I got some information. Herbert Coddington, 2 victims. Committed the crime in 1998. He was sentenced January 20, 1990. They got rid of this fool fast. This happened in El Dorado County. Says Coddington says posed as a filmmaker, says and called a modeling agency, says to send 2 girls to his trailer home. Says he raped, says send them to his trailer home. These bitches really thought they was gonna get on going to a nigga trailer. Come on, girls. What the fuck wrong with y'all? Says he raped the girl. Come on. How the fuck? What parents? This a parent situation. How the fuck are little girls going? This same thing that fool. What's the damn fool was called them young girls? Fucking What's the fool who kept killing people? California, he was connected to a political party. Ted Bundy. Same shit Ted Bundy doing with young, but this nigga calling model agencies and they send some little girls over. How the fuck are these little girls connected to a modeling agency and no parent go over there? Says he raped the girls ages 12 and 14. Says and killed two elderly women, 69 and 73, who had these are chaperones, some old ass ladies. Says who had been their chaperones. The fuck is this shit? And then the agencies, the family should sue the fuck out these agencies. You don't know nothing about this motherfucker, and they gonna pull up to a motherfucker in the trailer. You old dumb bitches. What the fuck kind of shit is that? And here go another one. Ladies, number of white ladies on this list. So this is Cynthia Kaufman. She got two victims, 1986, San Bernardino County. She was sentenced August 31st, 1989. She been gone for a long time, and she should be thrown in the death chamber. So, that's one we went over yesterday. She the one letting her dude do all that shit. Hold, let me back her up. So, she should have been executed. It says Kaufman and James Marlowe says abducted a woman. Says after she left work says in an insurance office. Says and held her captive. Says while Marlowe sodomized her until they obtained her banking information, then strangled her and dumped her body in a field. 5 days later, Marlowe and Kaufman assaulted and killed a 19-year-old woman from a dry cleaning shop, says where she worked in Orange County. Marlowe, in addition, says was charged in the 1986 murder for hire killing of a man in Kentucky. So that motherfucker's a piece of shit. This bitch is a scandalous whore who would just do anything. She ride or die for a criminal motherfucker. And this fool named Tecumseh Colbert. Two victims, 2004 out of San Diego. Colbert, so he's sentenced. So Colbert committed the crime in 2004, sentenced December 15, 2008. They like sentencing motherfuckers in December, it seems like. So Colbert says Colbert killed an investment banker outside his apartment. Says, and 2 weeks later, shot and killed the clerk at a liquor store. Though not having no money ass stupid motherfuckers thinking that's the way to go about life. You got Stephen Cole, one victim. Let's see how sinister Stephen Cole was to get death for one victim. In 1998 out there in Los Angeles. Sorry, in 1988 out there in Los Angeles. He gets sentenced July 16, 1992. This scumbag, after his battered girlfriend threatened to leave, Cole poured gasoline on her, says, and lit her on fire. She should have shut her fucking mouth. Says also setting fire to the house they rented. Says she was rescued but died of burns 5 days later. Fuck you guys say, I'm leaving you. Bitch, just fucking leave. Why do bitches do that dumb shit? Like you messing one of these old tender dick, can't nobody have you ass motherfuckers. And bitches want to say this shit to make the nigga jealous. And then you get a nigga like this crazy motherfucker that, what they say he did to her? He just poured gas on her, lit her on fire. Like, nigga said, well, fuck you, bitch. Like, come on, fucking chick. And it's Scott Collins, one victim, 1992, Los Angeles. Collins abducted a construction worker on his lunch break, says withdrew money from his bank account, shot him in the head, and dumped the dying man on railroad tracks. Sorry ass piece of shit. You gonna die in that motherfucker. He did this in 92. He was sentenced December 19th, another December one, 1996. They make sure they're gonna give you a Christmas gift. This is Christmas and New Year's gift. So here go a relative of Puffy's. So Michael Combs, one victim, done in 1990, San Bernardino County. He was sentenced June 24th, 1993. Says Combs and an accomplice convinced the woman to drive them to Calico Ghost Town. Oh, that's out there. That's out there when you leaving out of Vegas as you come up the hill. I don't know if y'all seen that Ghost Town. If you leave in Vegas, heading to LA, it's on the right side, way out there. You see that old Ghost Town. I think they used to mine, what was that shit? Back in the late 1800s, I think early 1900s before it closed. You always see, you can go on tours and that shit or just drive out there. So they lured her ass to drive. So she would drive them out there. Says, then killed her, says to take her car and money. Stupid ass fool. And they were sentenced, or not they were, but he was sentenced June 21st, 1993 for that 1990 murder. And then you got David Contreras, says 3 victims, 2012, Riverside County. Says Contreras, or maybe this is the fool from the other one. Contreras attacked and killed 3 people at random. Says first a man who was walking his dog. Says then a woman and her adult daughter. Says she jumped them and stabbed them to death. Says while taking a stroll. Says his lawyer said he is suffering from severe schizophrenia. You got to watch these type of people. You got to watch these schizos, man. That's why it's always good to carry a knife with you too. And fuck the motherfucker with mental health. Mental health people will be the first ones you should kill without hesitation. So he committed his crime in 2012, sentenced May 12th, 2007. And mental health people should be the first ones they execute. I don't know why they're so soft about them motherfuckers, because you got all these weird ass psychiatrists that do these evaluations during trials and state who can't be executed. And then but these mentally deranged people know how to kill people and know how to hide and shit. George Contreras, 1 victim, 94 in Tulare County. A lot of Tulare County motherfuckers on here. Tulare County is where I think they do all that milk shit. He did 1994, sentenced December 11th. Another December sentence, 1996. Contreras robbed and murdered a Tulare store owner. Get him out of here. Carlos Contreras. So this the fool. This the fool did it with the other fool. Yeah, here it go. So Contreras and Daniel Cervantes says killed an Indio man, robbed him, bound his hands with electrical tape, says, and then shot him in the head, dumping the body and using his credit card to buy gas. Contreras had previously robbed and shot a man and kidnapped a woman and 2 others carjacking cases. And you fucked your life up, dummy, and you're out of here. He was sentenced April 26, 2013. Just dumb, just doing stupid ass shit. Wow. And this is where parents can take time with these kids, maybe having them in very bad financial times and shit. When you can't provide for these dudes, they got to get out here and try to get how they live, because America is a place that would chew you and spit you the fuck out. And you got Joseph Cook, says 2 victims. His crime committed in 1992 in San Mateo County. He was sentenced September 16, 94. And I know I'm about to get ready to get off here in a few more names, and I'll continue this shit. I want to go through all these pieces of shit. Says Cook was doing yard work, says for an elderly couple, says when he beat them to death for their, says on their wedding anniversary. And this fool's still alive. These are the type of people that California is just bugged out. You got Michael Cook, 2 victims, 1998 in Riverside. 2 elderly women were killed, says when Cook says 2 elderly women were killed by him, says when Cook set fire to their mobile home so he could burglarize neighboring trailers. Man, is this fool stupid? What are you? I guess he gonna kill them, burn their shit. Everybody go over there looking, and then he up in their shit stealing. Yeah, he definitely deserved to be on death row. He's stupid motherfucker. Kevin Cooper got 4 victims back in 1983. In San Diego, sentenced May 15, 1985. Says after escaping from a prison camp, Cooper killed 4 people sleeping in the house in which he was hiding and used a hatchet to dismember some of the bodies. Says a mother, father, daughter, and a boy, says from the neighborhood, were killed. Says the son survived having his throat slit. Cooper continued to maintain his Cooper, you are not innocent, nigga. You did this shit. Fuck out of here with this innocent shit. Man, they doing it. I'm a black man. I'm a black man. These white folks doing this shit. See, that's the type of shit these type of niggas pull. I'm trying to, man, we need to come together, man. The white system. Like I said, when I looked in this list, the black people who cannot be executed, no, the list of people who cannot be executed, the majority of them are black. When it goes in the list of the people who have been executed since they reinstated the death penalty, Tookie Williams is the only black person on there. Tookie is the only black person on that list. since the 13 people they killed since reinstating the death penalty, and was at 78, I think it said. So this fool can't play that shit. This fool did that shit. Your dumb ass was in a prison work camp. You escape, and then this shit happened, and you talking about you innocent. Man, your dumb ass did that shit. And now your stupid ass about to rot away and die in that motherfucker. Leaving family, all that shit. And then Joseph Cordova, one victim is 79. This is Contra Costa County. Says, dang, this fool stayed out for a long time. Sentence. Sentence May 11, 2007. From 79 all the way into that time, he was out free. So he must be a cold case. Oh, he is. I see DNA. So he's a cold case. Cordova raped and murdered the 80-year-old daughter of a former girlfriend. Piece of nasty shit. Says the killing was unsolved, says, for decades until a DNA match identified Cordova at the time in prison, and says in Colorado for, guess what? This fool's a pedophile. Can't control his fucking self for messing with a child. And these bitches be bringing these type of motherfuckers around. Glenn Cornwell, one victim, 1993, out there in Sacramento. Sentenced April 21st, 1995. Says Cornwell, says, with a history of armed robberies, says fatally shot a Sacramento man, says, who was entering the check cashing business with a briefcase of cash. So he said, man, that's my money. I'm taking that shit. Thought it was supposed to be his and killed this dude and got his ass in prison. Juan Coronados, one victim, 2008 in Riverside. What was that? April 17th, 2015. Says Coronado says shot an 85-year-old. Like, come on, man. Shot 85-year-old in the face, says, after his two accomplices had beaten the victim and trapped him in the trunk of a car. Why? Says one accomplices, Eusebio Ferrerio, says, is also condemned. Why do that to a dude this fucking old? Like, come on, man. What the hell wrong with y'all? Huh? Yeah, why would y'all do that to a guy that fucking old? Like, these despicable ass dudes. So from 2008 crime, he was sentenced April 17, 2015 for shooting an 85-year-old. These fools done beat on this dude and all that shit. Sorry, motherfucker. And you got Robert Cohen. You got 3 victims, 1984, Kern County. Let me guess. Let me look at you, Robert. You killed, let me see you. Let me guess. You killed your girlfriend, or you came across some young little girls and a girl used to date. You killed her and her children or her mother and shit. Let me guess this one. So 10 years after the murder of an elderly woman, of an elderly Kern County couple during the robbery of their home, so I'm way off, says a recheck of crime scene fingerprints implicated Cohen. Says he was also charged but not convicted of the robbery and murder of another man found dead at a home. Found dead at a home 3 days after the first slaying. Says Cohen's brother says the participant in the first murders pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. So he out here with his brother doing that shit. And this is in Kern County, which been on here a couple of times. So this is the 84. He gets sentenced May 8, 1996. The piece of shit. And look, in there smiling. He happy to be in there. Fucking like the dudes in there or something. This is Lil Fee. So Lil Fee is talking about his story. I was listening to Eddie Boy's story on here. Eddie Boy's story on this case, even though he didn't go fully into it, he was calling out a bunch of people who were involved in that shit, that, you know, orchestrate the shit, set it up, got these dudes caught up in it. Because this dude was young. I think he was like with a well-known name. They, like they say, he was with the shit. But now they stated how much he changed. I wish they get an interview. That'd be crazy if Kev Mack do an interview on this dude or something. Sorry, somebody, Alex Alonzo, somebody able to speak with him from death row, and he just speaks and maybe kind of be on some Tookie Williams things, you know, try to give words of wisdom to the youth and shit, or about how to go about, the way in which they go about shit in that lifestyle. So this is Taquan Cox, better known as Lil Fee, says he has 4 victims for a 1984 homicide of a family, sentenced April 30th, 1986. And let me go down. It says Cox was a street gang member, says on parole, says when he and accomplices sought to carry out a contract killing, which it was for something else that happened. It says the killer says went to the wrong address. They went to the wrong house, which ended up being this NFL player, Kermit Alexander's mother, sister, and 2 nephews at the home. It says on death row, Cox stabbed another condemned inmate, and the other condemned inmate is the Crip co-founder, West Side Crip, Tookie Williams. Says he was part of a 2000 escape attempt. Says Alexander says one of the most prominent voices behind Proposition 66. And that's the football player. I had messed that up yesterday. Says which would speed the appeals process and allow faster executions. And he got every right to do that shit. He lost his mother to the act of these dudes. So, like I say, I can't go against what the family of victims, push for. But it's people who know him, who grew up with him, who will be like, man, free him and give him another chance. But 4 lives are lost and shit. Michael Cox got 3 victims, committed this in 1984 in El Dorado County. He was sentenced November 26, 1985. This dumb motherfucker was a convalescent care worker who slept in his car. Says he had killed 3 teen girls he knew from a Placerville foster home, says, and dumped their naked bodies in the El Dorado National Forest. Fucking nasty ass chump. And then so he was committed in 84. They put him away in November 26, 1985. You got Charles Crawford, 2 victims, 1996 in Alameda. It says Crawford killed 2 burglary accomplices during the meth binge. So his homies he done stole shit with, he hides a motherfucker and he kills these dudes. So he did this in 96. He gets sentenced some 6 years later. So June 7th, 2006. And he's been in there for more than 20-something years. You got Mark Cruz, 1 victim, 1982, Santa Clara County. Let's see, he did some crazy shit. In order to kill the former girlfriend whose money he sought, Cruz married her, says, to convince her to take a cross-country trip, says, during which he shot her in the head. Says the body was never found. Wow. What a dirtbag. What a scandalous-ass dirtbag. And you didn't get a penny out of her, you fucking dummy. Fucking idiot. Oh, damn. They took a long time to sentence him. So he did this in 82. He gets sentenced in July 22nd, 1993. You got Stephen Crittenden, 2 victims in 1987 in Placer County. Crittenden, an African-American college football player. Why you put African-American football? Football player, says, was condemned for the stabbing and beating death of a prominent elderly Chico couples who had hired him for yard work. It says 1989 conviction, says, by an all-white jury was overturned by a federal judge in 2013, and he is awaiting retrial. So yeah, they're gonna resentence your ass anyway. You think you're getting away with that shit? He was sentenced originally in June 12th, 1989. You going to jail for that shit. Tomas Cruz, 1 victim in 1991, Sonoma County. Cruz killed the Shasta County Sheriff deputy, says, with the deputy's gun after he was arrested for public drunkenness, says, and was being transported to the county jail. So how the hell did he get his gun? You do that shit. You must have been really fucking drunk to really turn. You just going to be sitting in there overnight because you were drunk and you turn into a murder of a cop and end up on death row. This got to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers on all of this shit. Was this Tomas Cruz motherfucker? You got to be the dumbest motherfucker. Gerald Cruz, 4 victims in 1990 in Alameda County. Let's see what this dumb motherfucker did. Sat on somebody or something. Says co-leader Gerald Cruz says use. Oh, I covered this one yesterday too. Use sleep deprivation, says an occult beliefs, to manipulate fathers into murdering 4 people in attacks with baseball bats and knives. James Beck and Ricky, Villa Severa, says were condemned to death. Says while 2 others received life sentences. And this is what happened with people buying the following motherfuckers. He was sentenced October 26, 1992. Armenia Cujo. This motherfucking name Cujo. Armenia Cujo. That nigga is straight out of Africa or somewhere. Where the fuck is this fool from? So he got 1 victim in 1986 in Los Angeles. Again, he killed a white neighbor or some shit. Cujo was condemned for using a hammer to beat a neighbor to death, says during the robbery of her house. Says the federal appeals court in 2012 ordered a retrial because evidence was not introduced at trial that Cujo's brother had confessed to the crime. Says to the crime to another. Oh, so come on, home. I know you didn't sit behind this over your brother. So this is an important one to even pull up. And you mean you was gonna sit quiet, or did you just fight your innocence? That'd be fucked up if his brother did this shit. It's 93. Oh, wait. They overturned that shit. They overturned this shit. Wait, let me see. Let me make sure. Wait, because this 2019, this one is 2012. This can't be right. Oh, no. I get it. This is the one where they overturned it and gave him a retrial. So Robin, boom, boom, boom. Let me see. 2 on Friday that the judge had violated Cujo's right to present a defense. Says the ruling entitles him to a new trial. So that's the new trial shit. Let me see. That's the 2012 shit. Let me see, more updated one. Let's see. Did his black ass win the case? Death sentence. Overturned the death sentence. Let's see. It says out there in Antelope Valley. It's 99. This is 2019. I need to find something after 99. So that he must have lost his fucking case because I don't see nothing up to date past 2012. Let's see, nothing up to date. Man, let's see, my eyes starting to get heavy. I'm gonna have to get off of this mug and on some to be continued tomorrow. So that's foul as fuck if his brother is the one behind this shit. And he done sat in there since 86. It's cold as fuck. Your brother ain't shit if he did that. Renard Cummings says Cummings, 1 victim, 1983. This in Los Angeles. He look like a PCP head motherfucker. Says following string of robberies. Says Cummings and partner Kenneth Gay says killed the Los Angeles police officer. Says that he pulled over a stolen car in which the men were passengers. Says both men had been on parole. Says for previous crimes and couldn't get out their own damn way early in the game. 83. And this is Albert Cunningham. Let's see. Wait, what's the other dude named Cunningham? They brothers? Oh, that's Cummings. So no, this one 2 victims. So Albert Cunningham says 2 victims did this in 85 in Los Angeles. He was sentenced June 16, 1989. Hold on, let me go to the other one who committed his one in Raynard Cummings. I didn't go into his. 1 victim, which is that cop in 1983 in the LA County. He was sentenced September 20th, 1985. So this other guy, Albert Cunningham, 2 victims. Crime in 1985 in LA. He was sentenced June 16, 1989. Cunningham killed 2 men he met at a bar, says after following them to a parking lot, says and demanding their money, and then killed these dudes. And that's the thing, people watch your money, man, you got to be careful. John L. Cunningham, 3 victims in 1992 in San Bernardino. Says during the robbery of an office furniture store, Cunningham bound 3 employees and then shot each in the head, setting the building on fire as he fled. What a cold-blooded piece of shit. 1992 is the crime, San Bernardino County. Sentenced January 12, 1996. That's almost as fucked up. The other one, that's a cold one with, but this is a former employee, did that shit out there in New York at that Wendy's and shit, where he shot all those people in the head. And one of the black victim who survived that shit, that dude all the way fucked up. He all the way fucked up. And let me see. Where we at with the comments? Let me see. Go ahead. DJ says doesn't seem like most of the black men on death row were gang members. It seems like mostly serial killers. And he says I think his name sounds like Choice. Says I think that's how you say it. And then says Clark looked possessed. Picasso says in my opinion, says there were gangs and says in groups before Crips and Bloods. Says prison culture, says it's probably the birthplace. Says but other parties grew up from there. Says for the betterment of the community. Man, niggas be adding that betterment for the community, but niggas wasn't always doing betterment shit for the community after a while. Matthew says, I guess they didn't end up in jail. Says for singing too loud in church. And then Picasso says can't let their prison mentality can't let their prison mentality go, so they bring it back home. Says just like the military veteran. And then Matthew says, hold on, let me get this comment go down. And I'm about to get off here. I'm yawning and then Matthew says three may keep a secret. Says if two of them are dead. Says the famous proverb from Benjamin Franklin. And he says Ted Bundy says a Republican, says a Nixon supporter, says all those modeling agencies are sketchy in my opinion. Says I tried contacting them, says but they wanted headshots, says and wanted you to show up on your own dime. And then man, like I said, I had a homie pull that shit because used to be this show on the internet where bitches used to be trying to be on that modeling shit. This shit used to be called Model Mayhem. And he needs to be faking like photographers and be fucking these pretty ass bitches. They be thinking they gonna get on and shit, or some of these bitches be thinking these niggas balling this shit. They just be giving the pussy up, man. That's why I be like, man, this. I'm telling you, these are all part of the things where I be like, that marriage shit for me, it ain't a bitch that I grew up with that's just been down or we maintained a long thing with. I can't do it. And then Matthew says Cujo says was denied parole back in 2024. Says re-eligible after 3 years. Says if my sources is correct. Okay, good. That's better than what I found. I didn't find anything. Picasso says if you go to prison for a ticket, says do they put you in with these criminals? That'd be fucked up to have to end up in prison with these niggas over a ticket. And then Matthew says I don't think you go to prison, but you go to jail. The jail. But why these type of niggas is going through their cases, you in jail with them? Do you go in jail with them? Says only felony, says tickets are misdemeanors, says at worst. Now, the LA will put you in jail if you got, I don't know what part of jail you go to, but if you got motherfucking warrants because you didn't pay your ticket and got your license suspended. And you got Robert Curl, says 2 victims in 1987, Fresno, says after his release from prison for crimes including murder of another inmate, says Curl killed the man over drug death. So look, he looked crazy. He looked high. He got the little white sheriff, racist sheriff beard and shit. That's that little coded shit, which is very easy to understand and identify that a lot of white racists kind of wear this beard. Salute to my cousin Deuce Time in the building. I see you out there, homie. Salute. And I'm almost about to get out of here. I'm fading out a little bit. So this dude committed this in 1987. 2 victims out there in Fresno County. Out there, shit, you come in here, it's a Fresno County killer right here. Out there, he did this in 87. He was sentenced July 15, 1993. You got Jonathan D'Arcy's. We went over him yesterday. He's 1 victim, 1993 in Orange County. Sentenced April 11, 1997. The RCs was working as a janitor, says when mistakenly believing he had been shortening his paycheck, says by a contract cleaning service. He doused the bookkeeper with gasoline and set her on fire, killing her. Fucking idiot. Dumbass fool. Dumbass. And that's a fucked up way to die. So here go another one of the ladies on here. Like I say, it's only white ladies on California death row, and the Latina ladies too, and one bald-headed black dyke. Carrie Dalton, she is one victim, 1988, San Diego. She was sentenced May 23rd, 1995. Says Dalton, a meth addict, says, and two accomplices beat and tortured to death a woman she believed had stolen her jewelry, injecting her with battery acid and electrocuting her before dismembering and disposing her body. The victim was never found. Sorry, bitch. And then why she's still alive? This is the other crazy shit. They leave these motherfuckers alive. And we got David S. Daniels, two victims in 1999, Sacramento County. He gets sentenced February 28, 2001. After a series of crimes, says that included 10 bank robberies. Damn, this fool can't get right. This motherfucker ain't got enough money. He need 10 banks. Shit. The fuck, they try to become a billionaire bank robber and shit. They had 10 bank robberies. Said this shit too easy, man. I'm gonna keep going. Carjacking, says, in the killing of a man during a drug robbery. Damn, but bank ain't enough. He gotta rob niggas with drugs. He just a robbery ass motherfucker. Says Daniel crashed a stolen car during a police chase into another vehicle. Says killing the driver. God damn, this motherfucker here. Says he subsequently was shot 14 times in a shootout with police, but survived. Yeah, this fool indestructible, man. You done fucked your life up, dude. Sentenced February 28, 2001 for that 1999 crime. Damn, fool, you just out there fucking up, man. Jackson Dan. Oh, this nigga crazy right here. This the fool read his shit yesterday. Let me go to his shit. What read it? Let me show this nigga picture. This the nigga I had on here yesterday. This nigga got in a shootout with the police. So he killed two people, which are cops, in 1998 out there in Riverside. Says Daniel was paralyzed, says, from the waist down after being shot by police following the bank robbery. Says when two Riverside police officers came to the home where he had been, came to the home where he was bedridden, says, to take him to prison, says, for the robberies. He shot and killed both of them. See, I'm lost on that one. Was he allowed to go home after being shot and waiting his trial? He lost the trial or what? Or was he hiding away? I don't know how that shit went. Let me see. All right, let me type in this fool. But I found a picture of this craziness. This nigga looks so damn crazy. Let me show this fool photo. This old crazy ass nigga had me dying. This whole crazy, mean ass, prison hardened ass dude. Look at this crazy old motherfucker. That be somebody, he had somebody in prison do this shit to his shit. Boy, that's a mean ass face right there. Oh, he died. Damn, man, that shit crazy. Oh, he was 86 years old. Shit. God damn, fool. Yeah, that's 2024. He died. It is, but he was riding away in that motherfucker and still looked mean. That old gangster ass old motherfucker. Oh, old gangster motherfucker. Dusine says a lot of these death row inmates says be from the central. Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's a lot of central Tulare County and all that shit ass people on here. And he says my mom said she wouldn't have never let me move out here. Says if she knew shit was crazy like it was out here. Says I didn't know it was crazy like that out here. Says I just heard it was cheap. Yeah, I'm pulling up a lot of murderers out there on this list from where you remember that shit. Wasn't that out there in your area? Yeah, that was in Fresno where them northerner gangs, they found some Southsiders living there and they was chasing a girl. She had her little baby. They chased her, shot her. They found the baby in the street dead. They found somebody in a mobile home on the site. I think that is up there where you live at. And Picasso says Grand Theft Auto says probably look some of these cases says and create that game. Says I bet killings were more gruesome, says in the past. I think killings is gonna be the same. I mean, you doing harm to the same bodies that exist the same as they did in the past. You're either using a gun on them, a knife, using your hands on them. So I don't think there's no difference in how gruesome that shit is. You get some people on these fucked up drugs that gut you up and do all type of crazy shit. And the Joseph M. Danks, 7 victims. Went over him yesterday, 1990 in Los Angeles County. He's sentenced April 2nd, 1993. Says Danks, known as a Koreatown slasher, says was sentenced to 156 years in prison for killing 6 homeless people in Los Angeles. Says he was condemned after he strangled his first prison cellmate to death. So he's condemned to death. I think that's what condemned means. You're going to die, you motherfucker. And he got James. I'm going to end with this fool. James Davigio. 1 victim, 1997, Alameda County. Sentenced September 25th, 2002. Davigio says, and his girlfriend, Michelle McHod, says, lured a student into a van rigged with hooks, says, where they sexually assaulted and tortured her before dumping her body. Says they had similarly sexually assaulted 6 other women. Says both were condemned. So goodbye, bitch. So Michelle's on here. We gonna read her too. So just remember that one. So get out of here, whore. Let's see. John Davenport, 1 victim, 1980, out there in Orange County, sentenced November 4th, 1981. Davenport tortured and stabbed to death a woman he met at a bar, impaling her corpse on a stake. This fool was wicked. Says the death penalty was reversed and reinstated after a new sentencing trial. Well, get rid of this motherfucker then. God damn. Oh, fucking long y'all leave him on there. So he almost been on death row for what is this? 44 at the time. What am I for? So yeah, it's about 44. I think this should be accurate. I ain't got to add no time. We got Stanley Davis, 2 victims in 1985, Los Angeles County. Says Davis and 3 other men, says killed 2 college students, kidnapping them because they needed their cars, says for a planned robbery. So you gonna kill these niggas to use their car and rob some people. Man, these niggas straight up off of fucking some heavy ass drugs. Says taking them out to a field and shooting them. Fucking dummy. Richard Davis. Oh, this the fool. Polly Klaus. That's this fool who was part of that crime bill shit. This the one I couldn't think of. This the fool did it. We'll end with him. This is the piece of shit that stole that girl. She was at a sleepover at her house, and I think he snatched her out the window or some shit. This is a major case, the Polly Klaus case. This was major. Now that's what look led to the passage of California 3 strikes. That was also written into the 94 crime bill shit. Was this piece of shit dude? We're really over this white girl. The 1 victim, Polly Klaus, happened in 94. He was sentenced September 26, 1996. This is in Santa Clara County. So in 1996, Davis kidnapped, raped, and killed. So this is, oh no, this ain't the 94 crime bill. In 1996, says he kidnapped, killed. No, this ain't be 96. He was sentenced in 96. Says Davis kidnapped, raped, and killed 12-year-old Polly Klaus. Says Davis had a long history of convictions for assault, burglary, kidnapping, and robbery, but he's still out free. Says the murder led to the passage of the California 3 strike law. And we'll end with this dummy right here, Richard Davis. So let me see. We'll go with Richard Davis, and I'll continue on with the rest on this long-ass list of all these crazy-ass, whack-job-ass people from our beautiful state of Caliviolent motherfucking California. But salute to y'all tuning in. Y'all interested in this shit just like me. And we'll go back through this. But this is the list. So we right here. Where we at? Let me see. There's so many of these fools. So we stop right here with this fool. And there's a bunch more of these motherfuckers. A bunch more of these fools. Wait, why I see this dude down here? I know I called this fool name. This old motherfucker crazy right here. So there's a lot of damn people on this list. Let me see. Some of this is out of order a little bit. But it's a lot of lists. It may take me 5 days to do this shit. I just want to see all these people on that shit. But that's all I got, folks. I'll catch you guys on the next one. He says Richard Davis is the same name of my job's line haul coordinator. This nigga just come with random shit. Says it got to be something in the water, man. But California may have the most of them, the most people on death row, but y'all other states got some of the most craziest shit. You go to the Midwest, to me, got some of the most way out, weirdest type of killers. Y'all got some weird killers up there in the Midwest. I ain't heard too much about South because they don't cover the South in terms of highlighting their criminals because they kill their criminals. They don't go making their little criminal psychopaths and the stars and shit. That's that Midwest shit. But that's all I got. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.